To me, making a public proclamation of accepting Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, there were about 70 people here on the bank. But the most impactful part of that proclamation was that my kids were here. And to show them, not with my words, but through my actions, and just the way Jesus changed me. Here I am being dipped in the creek, losing my old life and being reborn. It was just awesome. It was just awesome. It was probably 7 or 8 years ago, and I was talking to a friend, Hunter Brandt, and Hunter mentioned to me, he said, "Hey, do you go to church?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Well, we just opened this church in Mandarin, Church of 1122. I'd love to bring you out there. You'd be my guest." And I didn't go to church. A couple months later, Paul Martinez, he said, "Chris, do you know Joby Martin?" And I said, "No." And he's like, "Have you heard of 1122? And I said, "Yeah, my buddy Hunter just mentioned that church to me a couple months ago." He's like, "Man, you guys need to meet." No lie, 2 to 3 months later, friend Logan Holtz, I'm on the phone with them, and he said, "Chris, do you go to church? Do you know 1122? And I said, "No, but 2 other people have mentioned this to me." And he's like, "Oh man, Joby's great. He's kind of redneck. Man, you got to listen to him preach." And I was like, 3 people now. A gentleman named Mark Travis and I were talking, and he said, "Hey, do you know Joby Martin?" And I said, "No, but I need to know him because you're now the 4th person in like a 6 or 7 month time frame that has asked me about him." And he's like, "Well, they're looking for a hunt club and you guys should hook up." And so finally, after the 4th time, I'm like, all right, I got to make this happen. We set up a time to meet in Turkey Creek Hunt Club and talked hunting the whole time for the most part. And I am just starting to open my eyes to believing at this point. Fast forward about a year, and I got an opportunity to meet Joby out at Seamark Ranch. And Joby said, "Let me tell you something you don't know about that day. I've been praying for you every single day by name since I met you in your truck that one day." He said, "You know our one more language? You're my one more." And the moment that I really, truly was ready to surrender my life to Jesus actually occurred in a different church called Colonial Church down here in St. Augustine. And the sermons, I just felt like they were written specifically for me. It was wild. And they asked, if you're feeling ready to accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, raise your hands. Jesus at that moment was displaying his ability to love me and to forgive me. I should not be forgiven. That's the beauty of his love. And my hands they levitated on their own, really. I mean, I knew in my heart I wanted to raise them, but I boldly raised them. So I decided I was ready to get baptized. I wanted to do it as John the Baptizer baptized Jesus in the woods in a creek. I was like, this is going to be a party. When they asked me who my Lord and Savior was, and I said, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior, and dunked me into the water, I just remember coming up with the biggest smile on my face, arms raised, just felt new. Baptism, I've learned, isn't really the game changer. It's the belief in Jesus Christ. We know that he can do the impossible. There's so much in my life that just doesn't make sense that 20 years ago, I would have told you is a pure impossibility. And here I am today telling you that is absolutely inaccurate.